So hello everyone. Today I will discuss a problem that I have already discussed in my class. Since it is a very nice and a very conceptual rich problem, so I will explain it once again so that you can understand the intricate parts of how we are dealing these type of questions, and so that we can strengthen our concept much more. Okay. So see, first of all, there are two elements, that is P4 and O2. Okay, what is the question saying? That P4O6 and P4O10 are formed by burning P4 and O2. That is, if we burn anything with O2, or if we add O2 and burn it, it is a combustion reaction. Combustion reactions means that oxide will form, some oxide will form, like in this case P4O6 is created and P4O10 is created. Now many of you will ask me, sir, why two compounds are formed when we are reacting the same type of reactants? Like, I need to first explain you the question. See, here we are getting phosphorus P4. Okay. Here we are getting P4, and here it is also O2. In the second reaction also it is P4 and O2. So why are we getting two different oxides? One is P4O6 and P4O10. Both are different compounds. So why two different compounds? Because the ratios in which P4 and O2 are reacting in reaction number 1, suppose it is reaction number 1, and reaction number 2 are different. In the reaction number 1, the stoichiometry or the ratio in which they are reacting is 1 is to 3 is to 1, and the ratio in which the second reaction is occurring, that is 1 is to 5 is to 1. So the oxygen amount varies. Now you will ask me, sir, in nature, what type of reaction happens? The first happens or the second happens? I will say you, both happens. Both happens. So you will ask me then again, sir, 50% of first reaction and 50% second reaction. So the answer is not necessarily. In some reactions, you may see that it is 50% in the first reaction and 50% in the second reaction. But we can't define in how much way P4 is reacting within the first reaction with 3O2, and how much P4 is reacting in the second reaction with 5O2. So we need to know the formula, or we need to know the, not the formula, we need to know the concepts behind this whole mechanism. Okay, so just see. So I just explained you the question because uh, till now you have seen questions in which one element is added with oxygen and it's combusted to make only one type of oxide. But you will further see down the course that an element can react with varying amounts of oxygen. Remember the word varying amount of oxygen, because I use the word varying because in the first case, it is your 3O2, and in the second case it is your 5O2. So the stoichiometry differs, or the ratio differs, so the reaction product will also be different. Okay. Okay, let's go ahead with the question. P4O6 and P4O10 are formed by burning P4 and O2 as the two following reactions we have discussed. What are the masses of P4O6 and P4O10 that will be formed by the combustion of 2 gram of P4 and 2 gram of O2, leaving no P4 and O2? It is a very important statement, leaving no P4 and O2. In the questions we have done in the class, or in the previous things we have done, we have always seen that there is a limiting reagent concept. Limiting reagent concept means if A and B is reacting, and suppose A is given 5 grams and B is given 10 grams, always they do not get fully utilized. Means 5 gram of A and 10 gram of B do not get always fully utilized. One is present in a greater amount, stoichiometrically greater amount than the second one. So the residue remains of either A or B depending on the ratios in which they are reacting. In the same case also, here also we are getting two reactions, the stoichiometry are different, but here the thing is, no amount of P4 and no amount of O2 is left behind, no amount. So it is a full amount of reactions, means no residue, meaning here is no residue concept, limiting reagent concept. So how will we proceed in the question? Let's see. In the first reaction we have got, it is P4 plus 3O2 P4O6. It is said that 2 grams of P4 is reacted with 2 grams of O2. Suppose I tell you sum of two numbers is 50. Sum of two numbers is 50. What will you do? You will assume one number to be x and another to be 50 minus x. Similarly, here also we will assume the amount of weight here to be x grams. 1 minute, I will draw it in a different color. Suppose it to be x grams. X gram is reacting in the first equation, then necessarily 2 minus x will react in the second reaction. 2 minus x will react in this second reaction because 2 gram is fully utilized. So x plus 2 minus x is 2 grams. So supposedly we are using x gram. Okay. So before knowing in what amount of O2 will react, just same here concept. Just recall a concept. How do we convert some x gram, something gram, into number of moles? How do we convert grams to moles? Yes, exactly. We divide it by the molecular mass or the atomic mass. Okay. What is the molecular mass of P? Molecular mass of P is 31. So what will be the atomic molecular mass? Here it is 4p. So 4 into 31, that is 124. 124 gram will be the, say, molar mass, or the 1 mole of P4 will contain 124 gram. Similarly, if 1 mole contains 124 gram, then x gram will contain how many moles? It will contain x by 124 moles. X by 124 moles. I guess it is clear. Always do like this. Now the amount given divided by the molecular mass or the atomic mass gives you the number of moles. Okay. Now see the stoichiometry ratios. It is 1:3:1. Means 1 mole of P4 is reacting to form 3 moles of O2 to form 1 mole of P4O6. Okay. The ratio is what? 1:3:1. Then one part correlates with x by 124. One part. Remember what I said? One part correlates with x by 124 moles. Because what we do it with the respect of moles, not the gram. Means if it is here x gram, then it will not necessarily mean that it is 3x gram. It will not mean 3x gram. It will not mean, because it is molar ratio, mole. The amount reacting are in mole amount. Okay. So it is not 3x gram. It will become what? It will become 3x by 124 moles. Because one part corresponds to x by 124. So 3 part corresponds to 3x by 124. Similarly, what one part will be? Here the one part will be x by 124 moles. I guess you have somehow maintained your concentration and come up to this point, because the second part will be similar to this thing. We will see. What is the second reaction? The second reaction is, okay, let me change the color. P4 plus 5O2 brings P4O10. Okay. What did I say? X gram is reacting in this first equation. I don't know what this x is, but I know the total amount of P4 is 2. In the first reaction it is first reaction, and second reaction the total amount of P4 is 2 grams. So if in the first reaction x gram is used, then what will be used in the second equation? Total is 2. In one part x is used, so the other will be 2 minus x grams. Okay. Okay. Now 2 minus x gram, remember it is gram, so we can we write 5 into 2 minus x like this? 5 into 2 minus x, can we write it? No, we can't write it because it is in gram. We can't compare the ratios in gram amount. We have to compare it into mole amounts, mole amounts, not in grams. It will not become 5 times 2 minus x. Remember, the students make mistake in this portion specifically. They find that it is suppose 2 grams, then it will be 10 grams. No, it is not the case. You have to convert it into moles and then compare the ratios with the amount of moles. So what will we do? We will convert 2 minus x gram into the number of moles. It will become what? It will become, so first of all the ratios is 1, 5, 1. Okay. So we know that uh, 1 mole of P4 weighs 124 gram. Okay. So 2 minus x gram will weight what? I told you what? The amount of gram given divided by 124 will be your amount of moles. Simple, nothing. See, if it is given that 2 minus x gram is used, then the amount of moles it is used is 2 minus x divided by 124 moles. Suppose you have E, whose atomic mass is suppose 50 gram, means one atom weighs 1 mole of atom weighs 50 grams. Okay. Then if I say calculate the number of moles in 100 gram of A, so what will you do? You will divide the 100 with 50. Simple, na? Nothing complex. Okay. So 2 minus x by 124. So 5 mole will correspond to what? With gram? No. With respect to moles? Yes. So what will it become? 5 times 1 part corresponds to 2 minus x by 124. So 5 parts will correspond to 5 into 2 minus x by 124 moles. And here it will become 2 minus x by 124 moles. Okay. Now see a thing. Now we have no idea, sir, how will we go ahead? Don't have any idea. But we have not used one part of the question yet. That is what? The total amount of oxygen. Total amount of oxygen in the both the reactions is what? Is 2 gram, and it is being fully utilized. So we can write the number of moles. We have got the number of moles used in both the reactions. What are those? That is 3x by 4 moles, that is one part, and another is this 5 times 2 minus x moles. So what will you do? We'll add the number of moles of O2 formed, that is 3x by 124 plus 5 times 2 minus x by 124. It will be number of moles. What will be the total number of moles? That will 124 divided by 3x, that is 10 minus 5x. It will become 1 minute. It will become 10 minus 2x, 10 minus 2x by 124. It is number of moles of O2. This amount of moles of O2 is being formed. Okay, but the question is given in grams. So I have told you the 3 Matha mole concept. 3 Matha mole concept. So what it is that anything we got grams, we will convert into moles. Volume we will convert into moles. Number of molecules or number of atoms we will convert into moles, and then proceed. We will never interlink each other with other. We have to make the number of moles in between each other. Means mole is a fundamental concept here. We have to convert everything from mole to gram, mole to liters, mole to number of molecules. Okay. So this is the number of moles of O2. So what is the how do we convert into gram? Like 1 mole of O2, how do we convert? 1 mole into the molecular mass. What is the molecular mass of O2? 32. So what we do? The number of moles given is 10 minus 2x by 124. What is the molecular weight of O2? That is 16 plus 16, 32. 32 is the molecular weight, 32 gram. It corresponds to what? It corresponds to your 2 gram that is given, because the total amount of oxygen corresponds to what? 2 grams. So this is 2 grams. Gram gram cancel. This becomes 16 divided by 4, 31. Then it is becoming 4 multiplied by 4, it will be 40 minus 8x equal to 31. Then x will be 40 minus 31 equal to 8x. Then 8x equal to 9. Then x equal to 9 by 8. 9 by 8 means 1.125 grams. Means, what does this mean? X equal to 1.125. Think carefully. Think carefully. 1.125. This is 1.125. That means in the first reaction that I have given, 1 point, see here, x gram is being used. Means in the first reaction 1.125 is being used, and in the other, what will become? It become 2 minus x, means 2 minus 1.125, means reaction 1 is happening in higher amount, because it is 1.125, and in the second equation it is 2 minus 1.125. So how much it will become? It will become 2 minus 1.125 is basically your 0.875. 0.875. So the first reaction is 1.125 and the second reaction is 0.875. But what is the question asking? Question is asking what are the masses of P4O6 and P4O10 that are being formed. Okay, nothing difficult. Means it is asking us this thing. We have solved the question. Okay, no problem with that. We have solved the question. It is asking what will be the weight of P4O6 corresponding to this part, and what will be the weight of P4O10 corresponding to this part. No problem. We have got the value of x. We now know how many moles of P4O6 is being produced. X by 124. So P4O6, how many moles are formed? X by 124 moles are being formed. That is your 9 by 8 into 124. Okay, this number of moles. And what is the weight? Again the same concept, the mole into the number of moles into its molecular weight. What will be its molecular weight? P4O6, that is P4 means P4O6. P4 corresponds to 31 into 4. O6 correlates to 6 into your 16. 96, 124 plus 96, that becomes 220. So how many? So how will you multiply 9 by 8 into 124 into 220? That is in the grams. This amount of grams of P4O6 is being formed. You can definitely divide by suppose 2 or 4. You can divide it, like we can divide it by 4. It becomes 5 and 54, no? 55, and then it will come in some decimals, 9 into 55 by. So I guess you can do this calculation part. And how much amount of P4O10 is produced? First we will see how much mole is being produced. How much mole is being produced here? How much mole? 2 minus x by 124 moles are being produced. 2 minus x by 124, this amount of moles. Now what is the value of X? 9 by 8 or 1.125? So 2 minus 1.125 by 124 moles are being formed. In grams, what will it become? Suppose it is your 0.875 by 124. We have to convert moles into mass. So moles into its molecular mass. So what is the molecular mass of P4O10? P4O10, simply if we add 4 oxygens here, we will get the mass, that is 220 plus 4 oxygen, that is 4 into 16, 24, 64, 284, 284 gram. So we will multiply it by 284 and it is the amount, the total amount of grams. You will find the answer yourself, so it is just petty calculation. You can also use calculator for this specific problem if you want, okay, but the concept is, I guess, clear. If you have any problem, mention in the comment box or you can directly call me, okay. I guess the concept is clear. The thing you should always remember here is chemistry is nothing but what? Application of maths. Application of maths. What mathematics are we using here? See, first of all, what mathematics we are using here? The first mathematical point is, do not consider this mathematics as separate chapter, physics as separate thing, chemistry as separate. All are interlinked with each other, with the maths being the fundamental thing. If you are not clear in mathematics, you can't be clear in any of the subjects. Okay. So 2 gram is totally used in first reaction and second reaction. If X gram is used in the first reaction, then 2 minus X is used in the second reaction. It is clear. Now see, if X gram is being used here, can we write 3 X grams? No, we have to convert it into moles first. So what is the amount of mole with respect to P4? X by 124, because what? 124 is the molecular mass. X by 124 is the moles. So 1 part corresponds to X by 124. Then what does 3 part corresponds? 3X by 124. And here it is 1 part. So X by 124. Similarly here also, what we are seeing, 2 minus X grams corresponds to what? 1 part? No. 2 minus X part is in grams. We have to convert it into moles first. So what is the amount of moles? 2 minus X by 124. So 1 part corresponds to 2 minus X by 124. Then 5 parts corresponds to 5 multiplied by this amount of number of terms. Okay. And here it is also same, because 1 part corresponds to this, so 1 part also corresponds to 2 minus X by 124 moles. Okay. Okay, great. So now what would you, we know the amount of, we know the amount of oxygen that is being formed is 3X by 124 and another is 5 multiplied by 2 minus X by 124. It is total number of moles of O2 that is being formed, that is 10 minus 2X by 124. This thing you can see, this thing. Okay, so it is in moles, but we have to convert it to gram because the amount of oxygen present in the reaction is what? 2 gram. So this multiplied by 32 grams is your 2 grams. So we have solved the equation. So X comes 9 by 8. X is 9 by 8. So you now know how much amount of P4 is being used in the first reaction and how much is used in the second reaction. First reaction it is 1.125. The second reaction is 0.875 gram is used. Okay. Now what is the amount of P4O6 produced and P4O10 is being produced? P4O6 is this amount of moles. Substituting X, we get the amount of moles. How to get in mass? Multiplying the molecular weight, we get the total mass of P4O6 that is being formed. Similarly here P4O10, we know what is the amount there and multiplied by the molecular mass of P4O10. Okay, I guess the thing is clear. I have explained this question in very fundamental level, but the question was not very fundamental. Truly speaking, question was tough question, but if I don't bring you the concepts uh, of this, you won't be motivated to study harder, because if you think that you have gained every knowledge in this world, you are totally wrong. Okay, you should learn. What is the learning point here? The learning point here is that oxides always not form in one particular order. Means I have given you questions of like, if I have given you just this part, you would have solved very easily. But it is a question involving two parts of oxide formation. One is P406 requires 3 parts of oxygen, and P410 requires 5 parts of oxygen. So different questions, different things. So but the concept remains the same. So thank you everyone. I wish I have explained the concept in details. Even if you have any problem, please mention below in the comment box or call me if you want. Okay, thank you.